Welcome to another episode of It Happened One Night. This is episode 4, and I am your hostess with the mostest, Shy Rosalind. Please subscribe. Likes are free, subscriptions are also free. Subscribers are always appreciated. If you are so inclined, my Cash App is in my logo if you are interested in making a donation, but it's not required. This episode um, is concerning a certain influencer crew. I refer to them as Jekyll and Hyde, but most of you know them as Fresh and Fit. So just so you know, It Happened One Night is a series which is part of the YouTube Street Guide. It is not a judgment. It is simply a description of what's going on and YouTube streets that need to be avoided. This particular episode took a bit to put together because a lot happened very quickly, and it's still happening as I record this. So, just to be on the safe side, this is my fair use notice. Following documentary may contain excerpts of unlicensed videos, which use with lawful excuse for critique, commentary, and analysis. This documentary may contain some video footage whose use has not been authorized by the copyright owners. I believe that the that the authorized use of these videos constitutes a fair use of the copyrighted material as provided for in Section 107 of the U.S. copyright law. Now, I am going to let you guys know I am not using any clips in this video. I have decided not to. I was going to use some clips, but I changed my mind. This particular episode, what's happening and what has happened, is not. It's not safe for work, and there are references to certain taboo things that I just did not want to take a chance of playing the clip and accidentally violating any of YouTube's terms of service. So, we are going to start the show. So, once upon a time, there was some red pill influencers. I call them Jekyll and Hyde. They actually go by Fresh and Fit. Two gentlemen, and I'm putting quotes around that word, based in Miami, Florida. They have created a business within the manosphere by calling themselves self help or um, mentors for men. Supposedly, they encourage men to better themselves and improve themselves mentally and physically, and therefore they can improve themselves financially and eventually find, if they so desire, find a mate. However, the flip side of this particular influence team is that women are told that they are worthless, that they need to get married and have babies before they turn 30, otherwise their eggs have dried up and they are worthless. Jekyll, his name is Myron, but I call him Jekyll, has actually written a book titled Why Women Deserve Less. So, it is debatable whether they are truly trying to help men, or they just make most of their money insulting women. Um, Anecdotal evidence suggests that they make more money when they insult women on their after hours show. People actually are paying super chats attached to with an insult attached. So they are making money from allowing their audience to insult women. So, They have built quite a following. Um, they were at 1,420,000 subscribers at one point. As of today, they have lost some subscribers, and I'm going to show you guys why. So, they they went from this to this. Now, this is what happened. Sa- um Saturday, June 1st, Jekyll became upset. He felt that his rivals, Abba and Preach, and they really aren't rivals because they're two different genres. He felt that they had been putting out hit pieces, and I'll talk about that later, and finally decided, for whatever reason, to reignite the feud that they had originally squashed a couple of years ago. They had two live streams. One was on YouTube, and that's where the picture on the left comes from. The picture on the right is from Mike TV, and during his live stream, he discovered that they Fresh and Fit had changed their banner and their profile or their avatar to a very insulting um, set of pictures. And of course, as of today, they've changed it back. They made an announcement that yes, they did change it, but it was temporary. And what they did was, they consider it satire. Yeah, well, as we proceed, we'll see how that goes. So, like I said, it started out in their studio, and it moved to Rumble, and it got worse. These two photos are from a response. Well, actually, Abba and Preach did make a response to the original video that they did in that Fresh and Fit did in the studio. Um, they came back and they moved from their studio to this other person's home studio on a platform called Rumble, and proceeded to quote unquote continue the party. Um, so that's where these photos are from. So, as I mentioned many moons ago, Abba and Preach and Fresh and Fit did have what quote unquote beef. And in my previous video, I explained what beef was. If you are so inclined, you can go back to episode 3, and it explains everything. They did have beef. This was right around or right before Rona hit, and ABBA went to Fresh and Fit studio. They sat down, they had a discussion, and apparently the beef was supposed to have been quashed. Well, as I mentioned earlier, um, I'm sorry, Fit, aka Myron. I'm just gonna refer to him as Jekyll going forward. He got upset. He felt that Alba and Preach were doing new hit pieces and criticizing them too much. And as I mentioned on my Instagram live the other day, he had sorry, the same type of energy that Atomic Dog had when Six the Goddess dismissed him, but multiply it times 10. He claimed on the video that he invited Abba to his house. They broke bread. They sat down, had a discussion. He said he's not supposed to criticize me anymore. This is a not a violation, but a betrayal. He's acting like a snake, and this is unacceptable. So Um, and what we thought was settled was not settled. So, June 1st and 2nd, because some of this hit late on June 1st, going into June 2nd. Um, and it's still going on now, and today's June 3rd. But fireworks hit and the video came out. So, as I mentioned, Jekyll felt that Abba and Preach were posting hit pieces, trying to ruin their reputation and trying to mess up their business. Um, and Abba and Preach, of course, you know, they their videos are different topics. Some of it they're reacting to dating shows. Some of it is current events. Some of it, a couple of times, it's politics. But they do call out people when they see something that doesn't make sense. So, you know, Jekyll and Hyde were doing things that didn't make sense. They've been, insulting women. That's their MO. That's how they make their money. They also had and I've talked about this before, in a previous episode of It Happened One Night, regarding a person called Charleston White. And that seemed to trigger I think that's what really started triggering everything because of the things that Charleston White said, and Jekyll and Hyde didn't call him out. So Alvin Preach called it out. And I think that was the beginning of the new beef. They just didn't like it. They basically just want to say what they want to say, insult any woman they feel like insulting, and collect their super chats and sell that book that's telling women that they're worthless. So that, they weren't happy about that. And yeah, considering that their reputation is teaching men the game, and declaring women unworthy, or you're a modern woman if you have a career of your own, if you're over 30 and not married, or not settled down, then you're either a 304, as they call it nowadays, or you basically gonna get a dog, die alone, that sort of thing. That's their shtick. That's their MO. That's how they make their money. Well, I'll talk about this a little bit later, but June 2nd, these guys were on Valuetainment's channel. I haven't really looked into Valuetainment too much. They seem to be a semi right wing, half right wing politically, and half manosphere type of channel. And they pretty much push the same things that Jekyll and Hyde push. And of course, as you can see in the description of the event, um, they're going head to head with nearly 2 dozen modern women. So yeah, there you go. That's the MO right there. And the picture on the left, folks, those books that those men are holding up, those are the books that Jekyll is selling. Why Women Deserve Less. Now, just so you guys, well, I'll talk about that later. Let's move on. So, when everything started to hit, it was late Saturday night. Mike TV seems to be the first one who actually picked up on what was going on. He had already done an expose on Jekyll and Hyde, and I guess he caught Abba and Preach's video, and then as a result of that, he managed to do a reaction to the Jekyll and Hyde video, including the the final one that was supposedly on Rumble. Um, so he seems to have caught it first, because during the night, not too many people were talking about it, and it was late Friday into Saturday, that it started popping up on Twitter. Um, It was mostly Saturday. It started popping up on Twitter, and I'll show you guys some of the Twitter reactions in a moment. So shout out to Mike TV. And then midway through the stream, Mike was live. He had some people on as a panel discussion, and that was the clip I was considering using, but I couldn't find the whole clip. Part of it was missing. But midway through, he said, "Wait, wait." He told the panel to hold on, and he pulled this up and showed it on the screen. He says, "Oh my God, do you guys see what they did?" And the people on the panel, I mean, they were speechless. One guy was like, "Holy crap, they've jumped over the edge." Yes, they have jumped over the edge indeed. Um, of course, now it's been changed back to their normal banner and normal description. They did post a community announcement, as I mentioned earlier, that it was supposed to be satire, and they claimed that they were playing chess, not checkers, with Abba and Preach, and they were tired of being disrespected, and this is what happens, and basically gloating, thinking that they've won the battle. They have not won the battle or the war if you go to Twitter. As some of the reactions were starting to come out, um, especially once the banner thing hit. Any respect I may have had for Fresh and Fit was lost today. I'm really in awe. Wasn't the whole red pill movement about self-discipline? Myron put a fake hood on and called Abba and Preach spear chuckers and monkeys. That's how you respond to criticism. And then another person said, if a Caucasian man had went on to YouTube and called black men the N-word and monkey, they would have been banned. Myron does this on YouTube and Rumble, and nothing happens. Yeah. But unfortunately, like I said, it got worse because they started the whole thing on YouTube. They moved over to Rumble, and in the midst of them acting a fool on Rumble, guess who shows up? The gentleman on the upper left-hand corner is Nick Fuentes. He is a non-melanated supremacist, self-proclaimed. He was on Just Pasty Things show, and that's when the whole backlash happened with her. And those arrows that are there, folks, they are pointing to this racial slur count, and they had that running. I think Abba and Preach actually started the count. So I want you guys to see how far they were up to 38 racial slurs by the time. And if you guys look at the bottom right hand, the very bottom, that is Jekyll attempting to do a particular salute that is pretty much banned, or a minimum in poor taste. I'll just say our Jewish brothers and sisters would not appreciate that very much, what he's attempting to do. It got to the point where Just Pasty Things pulled herself away from the camera so she would not be in frame, because he was trying to get everyone to do it. So she actually, the one actual intelligent thing she ever did. So, as I mentioned before, June 2nd, the very next day, Fresh and Fit appeared on Valuetainment's live show, just as if nothing had happened. They showed up. I did not watch this. Obviously, I wasn't going to watch it because I'm not going to give these people any additional views. The one thing I will notice, the first minute of the program, and I only watched it because I needed the screenshots. But the first minute of the program, um, when Jekyll and Hyde were announced, the applause meter wasn't very high. Let's just say. I think people were still trying to process what happened, but the men in the audience seemed to be fine with it. There wasn't a whole lot of applause, but there wasn't any boos either. The women, the modern women who were supposed to challenge Fresh and Fit, um, well, allegedly, supposedly, these women are recruited. Some of them, I'll say, are recruited from um particular dating sites. I'm not sure of the actual recruiting process, but that's what I've been hearing. So I'm not sure if these women are, well, I'm not sure if these women truly have careers of their own or if they were recruited to be on the show and sit and look pretty. Um, some of them were in evening gowns, which shocked the shit out of me. I wouldn't have shown up in an evening gown. Um, and I guess some of them were hoping that, they would get recognized and it's clout for them, maybe. But, knowing that it's Jekyll and Hyde, all they were going to do was dismiss these women anyway. So I did not watch this. If anyone's willing to watch it and do a reaction to it, go for it. The information is there on the right hand side. And just so you guys know, these gentlemen paid $100 for a general ticket, $250 for a premium ticket, which included a meet and greet, and the VIP tickets. They were $500 each, which included a meet and greet and a cigar bar and some kind of reception afterward. And then the gentleman that came with my Jekyll's book, they offered to have him autograph it, autograph them at the meet and greet. So there was money made that night. And of course, the Twitter responses started pouring in. Now this young man, they call him Sneeko, and it was his apartment that they moved the after party to. I'll call it the after party. And this young man had at some point converted to Islam and said he was um, cleaning up his act, so to speak. There was one point where he looked like he was in bad shape. He had something was going on with him. People were actually worried that he was going to do something and harm himself, but apparently he converted and he cleaned up, and he was trying to restart his channel. Apparently Rumble allowed him to have a channel again because he had been shut down from YouTube. I'm not even sure if he's back on YouTube yet. um but Rumble apparently allowed him to start a channel again. So of course, with Jekyll trying to do that particular salute and some of the things that he was saying on that live, um, Sneeko was getting worried because he just got the channel back, and now because of this guy, he might lose it again. But the company you keep, if that's the company you're gonna keep, that's the risk you take. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. So there are some folks who um somebody said they can't wait till Fresh and Fit's finally canceled. Um, and people are asking, why are you even hanging out with these people? Um, it, it it's just it this thing is getting crazier and crazier. Um, it remains to be seen. I don't think what's gonna happen next. I don't think Abba and Preach are gonna say anything more about it. Um, I think they're just gonna stay quiet. They have said what they're going to say. It appears their philosophy is let them swing from their own rope. Um, because they've already said more than enough. If anybody else has said the things that Jekyll and Hyde said on their YouTube channel, their channel will be immediately removed. So it remains to be seen what's going to happen. Um, as far as just pasty things and the Caucasian supremacists, they will probably. My prediction is that they will probably team up at some point again. Um, for those of you who were paying attention, it looks like Just Pasty Things has brought her producer from the UK over to the US. There was one point where you could see his arm in the background, and um, it looks like she's brought him over. She did say a couple of days ago she did put out her own video, stating that she was back in the United States and she was looking to restart her studio in the States. So at last night it looks like she's in her bedroom. That looks like a dresser behind her. So she's probably in her bedroom. Um doing her thing. So that remains to be seen. I'm sure she'll probably team up with Jekyll and Hyde at some point. It looks like they kind of teamed up the other night anyway. So that remains to be seen. And we'll see what happens with Atomic Dog and TLA and those other folks who were supporting Just Pasty Things. We'll see if they have anything to say about that. I doubt it. Um, but we shall see, especially now that she's in the States. Um, So I suggest that everyone go outside and play. Go outside, take a walk, get some vitamin D, sit and meditate somewhere, take a deep breath, and try not to get too wrapped up in this. This is one of the more dangerous, I can say, episodes that I've done, and not because I'm not afraid of anything. I say what I say, I mean what I say, and that's it. Um, Dangerous in the respect that something like this, where this beef or argument escalated so quickly and was so nasty. As I said on my Instagram, it somebody's gonna get hurt. That's just how it is. Somebody is definitely going to get hurt. And it's a prediction I don't want to make, but it's going to be a very wild summer, I think. And I really think that unfortunately, it's going to end up in the street, in the real street, as someone's going to get hurt. So I hope it does not come to pass. I don't wish that on anyone, but somebody's gonna feel that somebody went way too far, and it's not gonna be pretty. It's just not. And I think when that happens, it's going to hit the local news and the mainstream news, so to speak. Outside of YouTube, it's gonna hit, and once that happens, I think this red pill thing is really gonna get like scrutinized to the point where some of these folks are gonna really have to stop. They're either gonna have to truly pivot and find some sorry, find some other grift, or they're going to have to completely disappear for a while. Because remember, folks, this is all grift. It's all money. That's what it's all about. It's all about how much money you can get off of people who are searching for answers. Back in the day, you had your Boy Scouts and your football team. You can go to your coach, your basketball team. You had, um, if you went to church, you had, the men's board and deacons and, people that young men could go to and talk to. Even high school and college, I think yeah, they still have fraternities, but and the fraternity brothers are supposed to be mentoring the younger ones. So I'm assuming that still goes on, but it's probably not enough. I did see a comment, and I believe it was on Duke the Don's channel, I believe. And yeah, I'm pretty sure it was his channel. There was a lady who claimed to be a middle school nurse, and she said that the male students were starting to spout this red pill stuff and starting to treat the girls poorly, and we're talking middle school. So something's not right. It's got to either shift into something more positive, and you can make money doing stuff that's positive. You don't have to grift. If you do it right, you don't need to grift. But until there's like some massive thing happens, the grift is strong. I'll just say that the grift is strong, and the money is hard to resist. But y'all, I'd appreciate any likes. I appreciate subscriptions. I appreciate comments and questions. Um, I'm hoping I don't have to do another of these episodes anytime soon. I do them just to let people know what's going on. I try not to pass judgment. I just try to analyze. So, you know, it is what it is. But thank you all for watching. Like I said, questions are welcome, comments are welcome, subscribers are always appreciated. At this point, I am close to 100 subscribers, so as soon as I get there, we're going to have a party. So I hope everyone has a wonderful week ahead, and I will see you next weekend for Beat and Chat. Take care, everyone.